Welcome to Hacking Self Storage. I'm your host, Dean Booty. It is Tuesday morning, and that can only mean one thing. We are talking about my numbers for Clough Rd. Clough Rd, if you don't know, is my new site that we've just opened, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months ago. And I love it. It's my baby. It's my baby that I'm nursing at the minute. And I alluded to this on Monday. The difference, sorry if anybody's watching the video, because I've just been having some protein shakes and I always have chocolate all around my mouth when I have this protein shake. So hopefully I haven't got it. Anyway, so the reason why it's so different from Willoughby when we opened Willoughby to now is because of experience. So when we first opened Willoughby, I didn't know how much things would cost. I knew how much things would cost, but I wasn't quite sure what the shortfall of cash would be on the cash flow. So we guesstimated completely incorrect. And if I'm honest, with a bit of luck, we're still here now, because there was times when I had a £60,000 bill to pay, and I had no way of funding that £60,000. And so the hustle had to come out. We had to do other things. And luckily I had another podcast, which was getting close to 1 million downloads a year. And so we monetized that. And we managed to create some software, which sold really, really well. And so we used that funding. And when we opened Clough Rd, I knew the pitfalls, I knew the problems, I knew how much cash flow we'd need. I was just a better all-round businessman. It's amazing how you improve from 6 years ago to today. And hopefully in 6 years' time, I'll look back at now thinking, oh my God, you made some stupid errors. And so we're learning all the time. We're not standing still, we're always learning. And the reason I love talking about Store More Clough Rd so much is because I'm never going to be a cash flow deficit. So it's a new building, so therefore we haven't got any rates yet. The rateable value hasn't come through. Don't get me wrong, we know we've got to pay it, so we're saving that money in a pot. We've got 9 months rent-free, 9 months rent-free period. It's only an 11,000 square foot building, and so it's not going to take that long to fill. We know what works in terms of marketing. We know what works in terms of signage. We know what works into how to get the message out there. It's a prominent location. We've got banners outside everywhere. And so we know what works. And to top it all off as well, we did a deal with the landlord. If he put the mezzanine flooring in, then we would pay an extra £1 per square foot. Now, don't get me wrong. If cash flow is not a problem, I wouldn't have done that. If cash flow wasn't short, because when you're expanding in self-storage, cash flow is you're always going to be short. Or there's always going to be strains put on your cash flow. And I know there's some very, very lucky people who not lucky, definitely not lucky, but there's some people listening to this who cash flow isn't a problem. And I'm so jealous because every single decision that I make, I've got to be aware of my cash position and where we're at. And it's the heart of your business is cash flow. Yes, if you're not profitable, it will slowly kill your business. Do you know what? I had a great analogy the other day. Having a not profitable business is like having cancer. It can be improved. It can be overcome, but it will kill you long term if you don't do something about it. However, having cash flow issues in your business is like a massive heart attack where it will kill you straight away. So cash is king. Dan Bradbury, my business coach, always says cash is king. And it's so correct. It's okay having a business that's not profitable. You don't want that. It's not ideal, but it won't kill you straight away. Your cash position will do. So we designed this in such a way where we don't pay rent until I think it's October time. And by then we will have enough money in the bank to make sure that the rate sort should be, I mean, I think it's around about £19,000 a month we need to take to break even with all the borrowing paid for, with all the expenses paid for, including the interest and repayments. And so if we get to 19,000 by October, then we're over the moon, because we never ever have to be in that negative cash flow position. However, even if we are in that negative cash flow position, even if we're only taking 16,000, we'll have built up a buffer in the bank, because we're not touching, we've got a separate bank account for Clough Rd. So everything that goes in there at the minute, we're currently taking £12,000 a month. The rates are going to be around about £4,000 a month, somewhere around there. And we don't have a lot of other expenses. I think we've got £3,000 in repayments. So we've got £7,000 and we're taking currently £12,000 a month. So we've got a £5,000 extra. Next month, we should take around about £14,000 a month. So then we'll have more. And then next month, we shall have more. And so we'll always have that buffer. And then when it comes to paying the rent, we've always got that buffer to go into. And so hopefully we'll never, ever be in a cash flow negative position with Clough Rd. And that for me has been, it's been fantastic. It's been terrific. And this time in a year's time, this will be making £250,000 a year. It will be chucking out cash, and then we can utilize that cash as well to build somewhere else. And so, yeah, it's been a complete success. Anyway, let's get into the figures then. Right. Where do we go next, Anna? We'll go to the amount of quotes as I'm trying to find everything. Here we go. You'd think I'd have these. I did have them ready, by the way. Just so you know, I did have them ready, but the problem is I've been moving things around so much on my screen because there's so many different. To get all these reports, I need to use Storer, I need to use Space Manager, and then we need to internally do a spreadsheet ourselves. So there's all 3 different things open. Right. So last week it was 28 quotes. We got 4 reservations. That is a conversion rate of 14.29%. And the reason we only got 4 reservations is because we don't have the units. We don't have the units at the minute. Yes, we're building them out. They should be ready by in a week's time to a week and a half time by end of June. But at the minute, we don't have them ready. So 28 quotes, 4 reservations, which I think is all right, to be honest. And total amount of square foot reserved was 275 square foot. Amount of move-ins, we only had 2 move-ins last week for 100 square foot. That's conversion rate of 7%. Again, we don't have the units, so we can't read too much into this. We had 2 people move out for 175 square foot. So it was negative 75 square foot last week at Clough Rd, which again, doesn't bother me in the slightest because then I know we've got them extra units to go at. And we're always going to get churn as well. And if you're only moving in 275, if you're only moving in 100 square foot, then you are going to be in a negative situation. But all systems will be go for the start of July because we want to make sure, again, we're back to 1,000 square foot positive every single month. Whether we can hit that, I don't know. In my projections, I was only projecting maybe 400 square foot or 450 or something per month. So we're smashing that, absolutely smashing it. We are currently nearly 9 months ahead of projections, which is always a nice place to be. So we've calculated the cash position, and we had the cash in place to make sure that we could hit the growth where we are right now in 9 months' time. So we're very, 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 very happy with that. Right, let's have a look at some other information where the quotes come from then. Obviously, the quotes came from Google. Oh, yeah, Google. 15 came from Google. That is 48%. Interestingly, passing by was 10 quotes, which was 32% because it's a very, very prominent location. Word of mouth was 2, and that is 6.75 quotes. Let's have a look at some more information I can get from you. I'll just close that down. Here we go, the store information. Now, we only are 45.97%, so 47% full. However, we've put in all the new units. All the new units are now online. And so it's not, I think the best thing to look at is having a look at how much square foot we've actually got. So how much square foot is actually taken. So if we click on the occupancy report, it should be around 8,000. Yep, we're currently got 8,100 square foot rented out of a potential of, this is lettable space, 17,620 square foot. Excuse me. And this time last month, we had 7,225 square foot let. So 30 days ago, we've improved by around about 900 square foot. When, if you take in consideration exactly where we are in terms of how many units we've got available, that is bloody good. They're really, really happy with that. So we've got 17,620 square foot to go at. Hopefully, I'm hoping I can get that over 20,000 of lettable space, with the reason being is because we can have containers. Well, hopefully we can have containers. We're still waiting to see what happens if we can have containers or not on the site. So at the minute, we've got 8,100 square foot in use. Right, what other information can I tell you? How about the price per square foot? Because that has been increasing. The price per square foot, it's just gone down today. It's gone down from £16.68 to £16.58. So at the minute, we are hitting £16.58 per square foot. That has gone up from 30 days ago from £13.30. 13, sun's coming in. So about £13.13, 30 days ago. That's an increase of nearly 21%, which is a lovely jubbly. Gross revenue, how much we've taken so far this month. It's the 21st of June. We've taken £7,517.51. Now, it's a little bit less than I would have wanted to take because this time last month, we took £6,041.96. Excuse me, I've had a protein shake, so it always sticks in my throat. So that means that we've improved by 19%, nearly 20%, 19.63%. I do want to improve by last month we took £10,000. I want to take £12,000. Every single month, I want to take £2,000 more. So hopefully we can get there. In terms of monthly recurring revenue, it's £18,159.67. That's if everybody was paying full rent. And to give you an idea of how well we're doing, 30 days ago, that was at £14,585.94. So again, that's an increase of £19.68%. As you can see there, across the board, the rate per square foot has gone up by 21%. The monthly reoccurring revenue has gone up by 20%. And the gross revenue, the one we're actually taking, how much we've taken, or near as damn it taken. It's not quite taken, it's how much money we've invoiced, but the invoice and taken is just, it's very, very similar, has gone up 20%. So across the board, we've gone up 20%, which is incredible. It's fantastic. 20% growth in this month alone. So cannot be happier. Cannot be happy with Stonewall Clough Road. We're at a very, very critical point now, though, because in the next week, we'll be opening phase 2. We're opening without a lift as well, because the lift is on back order and blah, 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 blah. But my opinion is the team are worried about it and thinking, oh no, what we're going to do. It's simple. Most people don't know what to expect when to come and self-storage. So don't mention it. We don't mention the lift. We don't mention it. We just act as though it's normal to walk up the stairs and you're getting a cheaper rate because it's up the stairs. We don't mention it. We do not mention the problems. We do not mention the issues. We do not mention the subconscious barriers that we've got. No, we don't want to tell them, oh, by the way, we don't have a lift yet. It's coming in 3 weeks' time or 4 weeks' time. We don't mention it. We do not mention it. Yes, it might be an issue for some people, but I always remember going to an armadillo site, and it was a higgledy-piggledy site. There was a lift, but then I had to go up another flight of stairs because I was in a weird little corridor. And because the salesperson didn't make an issue out of it, I never even thought, I didn't even think about it. And I had to go up like 8 stairs and I didn't even think about it. And even though I was in self-storage, it didn't, because she was so natural about it. I didn't even question it. And so that's what we've got to be like. If there's issues, if there's problems, then we don't alert the customer. We don't have a beacon on shine on and saying, hey, guess what? We don't have a lift. Sorry. We don't act apologetically. There's no need to. There's absolutely no need to. I need to. And even my wife, when she comes home, she gets worried about it. And like, Claire, we've got to be strong here, and we've got to make sure that other people, because she comes and said, oh, they're all talking about the lift and they're really worried about the lift. Don't be, if you're worried about the lift, and the customers are going to be worried about the lift, because don't forget, we're the fountain of knowledge. We're the people who know. We've got the experience. And so if we're worried about something, then the customers are going to be worried about it. If we're not worried about something, then the customers are always going to follow our lead. So let's not worry about the lift. That's my motto. So we're at a critical point, and I would love to see another 1,000 square foot added this time next month. So if we're at 9,100 square foot by the end of July, or 9,200, 9,300, I'll be over the moon, because then the trajectory is back going 1,000 square foot a month, which will be lovely. And I just want to get past that. Once I get past that critical break-even point of me, I can't remember exactly what it is now, because it depends on which loans I've put in, etc. Repayments of loans and stuff. Then once we get past that critical point of say 20 grand for argument's sake, then it's brilliant. I don't have to. I can bench Clough Road. I don't have to worry about it. I can do our revenue management. We can increase prices and all stuff like that, all groovy things like that, because we're past that critical point. Once you pass your critical point, you very, very rarely go below it. Or if you do, something crazily wrong. And obviously we're paying off the debt as well, which is lovely. So in 4 or 5 or 3 years, depending on which loan it is, then the break-even point will go down, because I count my break-even point. I know for your accounts, then it don't take into consideration the repayment of loans, etc., only interest. But for me, it's I'm just bothered. All I'm bothered about is my cash position. My cash position. What is it actually physically costing me to run this facility. And I want to know exactly to the penny how much I need to take. And once I know that, then we've all got a bullseye. We all know the target. And once we all know the target, we're all working towards that target. Once we get to that point, then not relax, but we change the way we do things. We can change then to revenue management, putting the prices up, making sure that we really maximize, squeeze as much as we can out of this sponge. That's when we change things. Until then, all hands to the deck, and we continue pumping away, trying to get that to that critical point. All right, guys, girls, tomorrow I'm talking about scarcity. There's one other thing I want to add about scarcity, and that is what I'm talking to you guys about tomorrow. And then I've got so many episodes to talk about. All right, love you, appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.